Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, August 31st, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. First up, the Google Search Console removed the sum of the anonymous queries. So if you did, last week we reported there was like huge drops if you used a query filter in the Google Search Console Performance or Search Analytics report for some sites. And then Google just actually posted on the data anomalies page, and I'll read it to you. Chart totals no longer include anonymous rare queries when you apply a query filter. Previously, the chart totals included all anonymous queries when a queries not containing filter was applied. Because of this, you might see a drop in clicks and impressions, and when adding a filter that excludes specific queries. We believe that omitting anonymous queries from all query filters results in a more consistent. And then explains an anonymous query is a query submitted only a few users. We omit these queries from results to protect user privacy. Some sites have very few unique queries, while other sites will have a large portion of anonymous queries, which is why so many people saw this. So they're like, wait, Google's removing all these anonymous queries. It's not provided all again. Again, Google never provided the query data, but they included the anonymous queries in the overall sums. And Google actually went ahead and clarified this because there was a lot of confusion. I was confused by how they worded it as well. And Google specifically clarified, they basically said, previously we included the sum of the queries that were not tracked in Google Search Console for the total of queries not containing. And now they're no longer doing that. Not doing that in the search performance and search analytics reports on the web. They're not doing that in the API. And they're not doing it in many, many places. And it goes on and explains that's why you would see an impact, because the sum that Google's showing on that report is now no longer including those types of queries. So obviously it messes up all your data, etc. But there was no real impact in your search results and your search rankings for that. So just keep that in mind. Google's John Mueller said this week that the source alone of the link source alone, doesn't make the link bad. And here's John's tweet. Why would it be bad? Commenting about a certain type of link. Are you placing those links yourself? The source alone wouldn't make those links bad. Now we know that Penguin analyzes the link source, not the link destination. And if Google Penguin, the algorithm, thinks that link is bad, now that Penguin just discounts the link. It doesn't really count the link, and it doesn't demote your site based on the link. You're okay. But at the same time, does the link source alone make the link bad? Google's John Mueller is applying no, whereas we know Penguin kind of analyzed links on the link source level. So it's interesting to hear John say kind of not. I guess it depends, etc. Google's testing a new search results design for core search, specifically rounded search box at the top that sticks to the top as you scroll. And here is a screenshot you can see over here. It's rounded, smaller Google logo. Here's another screenshot. You can see as you scroll, the bar sticks to the top. There's a video here of it in action. Let's see if it loads. So you can see here's the video, and you see the person scrolling, and it kind of snaps to the top. So a lot of people are seeing this now. First reports came out about this about a week ago, but now more and more people are seeing this test. Google confirmed Google is actually testing this. Yesterday, Google dropped or updated the Google search settings page. It looked like it was a bug because it's now back to normal. Basically, it looked like Google was showing the mobile version on the desktop version, which removed the number of results you could actually show on a specific page. So here's what you normally see with this results per page. Google actually changed it to show this like mobile version, which doesn't have that feature, of course, because of the infinite load more button at the bottom of the page. The Google Search Console link report does have the latest downloads links, the latest Discover links. It's just weird to find it. You have to go to the main link report and then click on the export button on the main link report, not the external link report, but the main link report. Hit export, and then you can see the latest links and download that there. That's a little heads up. Google launched a structured data code lab, which walks a user, webmaster, SEO, etc., through the process of creating structured data. This launched about a month ago, but Google actually added it to their main navigation just yesterday or the day before. And it takes you through a step-by-step process telling you how much time you have remaining to creating your own structured data, which is nice to see. Google said they convert PDF and other documents to HTML so they could actually properly index them. John Mueller said this on Twitter, saying, let me just pull it up. He said, FYI, here's a link for your information. We convert PDFs and other similar document types to HTML for indexing too. So theoretically, there wouldn't be much difference between PDFs and HTML, etc. I would assume Word documents, some images, Excel spreadsheets, and so forth would also be included in that bunch of what Google converts to HTML. And that totally makes sense if you understand how these documents work to convert them first to HTML. Google said they could process canonical tags in JavaScript. He said they don't recommend it, but technically Google can process those canonical tags if they are in JavaScript. You just want to make sure that they don't conflict with each other. Google said recertifying your content doesn't mean you should re-update the date. So basically, somebody said, hey, every time I look at my content, I'll make sure it's valid. I'm going to update the date of the article, of the content, to reflect that I actually looked at it. And John Mueller said, no, the content was written on 5 years ago. Just because you went to the content and say, yo, this is still valid, doesn't mean you should update the date. Maybe you want to make a note that we checked the content on this date and we confirm that it's still valid. But updating the date doesn't make sense. Don't do that, John Mueller said. Google said redirecting all your links to the homepage is a bad idea. I can't tell you how many people come to me and say, we're doing a site migration and we're redirecting all our links from the old URLs all to the homepage URL. I'm like, why? Redirect them to the one-to-one path to where you move the URL on the new site, or the new URL structure. Again, this is not uncommon. It's just mind-boggling to me and many SEOs that people actually do this. And it's nice to have Google say, don't do that. Google's testing grouping 2 search results in one box in the mobile search results. Let me show you that screenshot. So here you can see it's a gov.uk result, and you can see it's all contained in one box. So it's all wrapped in to one box with 2 different search results. And then here's the next search result from a different site. That's pretty cool. Google released the Google My Business API 4.2. It's not an open API. You have to actually get permission to use it. But this lets you do things with Google My Business. Specifically, the new things that were added was the verification APIs, Google location APIs, expanded location filters, chain membership, organization information, product posts, and a review profile photo. So definitely take a look at that if you do a lot of local businesses and you want to automate any of that process. It's there for you. Google My Business also added a veteran-led attribute or icon. This is part of Google's promotion around how to give more publicity and more reach and more exposure and more help to veterans that have helped their country. And basically, if you own a business and you're veteran-led, not only will you have the women-led option, but you also have a veteran-led option in the Google My Business info tab under attributes. And when you add it, you get this little flag, this little icon that says you're a veteran-led company, which is nice to see. I'm not sure how they verify that, but it's there. The Google Ads overview page now lets you edit your ads directly in the cards, the overview cards. You can pause or unpause campaigns, ad groups, and keywords. You can edit campaign budgets. You can edit keywords and ad group biddings. You can edit ad copy, and also do some more things here. And here's a screenshot or a GIF of it in action. Say Google's recommending do X. It lets you actually do X right in that screen, which is a nice little feature. Google announced the Google Assistant now supports multilingual, bilingual responses. So you can say, Google, talk in English, and then you could actually respond in a different language, and Google should understand the back and forth language, which is very common in multilingual families, households. This is funny. John Mueller saw somebody talking about creating their own PBN, private blog network, to manipulate Google search results, and John responded, sounds like an interesting plan. He's basically somebody commenting in Reddit saying, I need help building this private blog network. And John Mueller caught it and said, hey, it looks like you're doing some interesting stuff there. And finally, President Trump went off on Google this week, basically saying Google is rigged against him and the Republican agenda. He posted 2 tweets this morning, Wednesday morning, I believe. Google search results for Trump news shows only viewing only the viewing, reporting of fake news media. In other words, they have it rigged for me and others, so that almost all stories and news is bad. Fake CNN is prominent. Republican, conservative, and fair media is shut out. Illegal ? 96% of results of Trump news are from national left-wing media. Very dangerous. Google and other are suppressing voices of conservatives and hiding information and news that is good. They are controlling what we can and cannot see. This is a very serious situation and will be addressed. Very interesting that he would say that. Not getting into the politics. Obviously, in general, if you do any statistics and see the stats on news reporting and media outlets, typically the journalists are more liberal. That's just statistically true. That being said, again, I don't believe Google goes ahead and makes news worse for Trump or anybody. And the examples he's shown, Google actually disproved. In any event, it's not getting to politics. It's just interesting that this would happen. I'm not surprised it would happen, that Trump would say such a thing. In any event, he did. And that's a good way to end the news for the week. Everyone, I hope you have a great weekend. Again, today is Friday, August 31st. Hope everyone had a great August. See you guys next week in September. Again, my name is Barry Schwartz, and this is Search News we covered over the past week at seroundtable.com. See you guys. Bye.